Cheap cameras are better than you think. Now, over the last couple months, I've been using this cheap small point and shoot right here, and I've put it through its paces. I've tested it against my more expensive camera as well, and it really holds up much better than I expected. Here's two photos, one from an expensive camera setup and another from this cheap point and shoot. Obviously you can tell which is which, but it's close enough that I'm willing to use this instead of my expensive camera in some cases, and I'm willing to take this out as my dedicated camera. It's really easy to underestimate these when you look at their size and you look at just how cheap they actually look, because they don't look like an expensive professional camera, and so you generally don't expect professional results out of them. I think that some of the photos you can see on screen show otherwise. These truly are capable enough, and in some cases they can actually one-up my expensive camera. For example, I have to put my expensive camera gear all in a backpack or in a bag, and I have to store all of that and carry it with me all over the place somehow. Versus this is something that I can just fit into my pocket. The ability to just always have a camera with, because I'm not going to bring my expensive camera for every time I leave the house, is really nice because it allows me to get the photos that I would have missed otherwise. Because again, I don't always bring my expensive camera everywhere. And so this is a great way to capture those spare photos that you see here and there when you're out and about, but you don't want to always bring your expensive camera everywhere you go. We've established that the quality is good enough, they're smaller and lighter, but I think there's still a case to be made about how much more fun it is to use a camera like this compared to something like my phone or my expensive camera. Because this is just so much more enjoyable to use, because all I need is this shutter button right here, and it does the rest. There isn't a lot of interaction that has to go into the camera, there isn't a lot of input that I have to give it. When I'm using this camera, my mentality shifts to just getting the shot and going, versus when I'm using my more expensive camera, it's about perfecting the shot. And sometimes it's just much more fun when all I have to do is get the shot. Spending 5 seconds taking a photo instead of 5 or 10 minutes can really just make it so much more enjoyable sometimes. And there is a time and place for the full manual settings, the tripod, and the careful planning of a shot, but for those random photos you see that you just don't have your expensive camera with you, being able to just snap them on something like this really quickly is very convenient. And like I said, I think that just makes it more fun, which ultimately is all that matters, because if it's not fun anymore, then what's the point of photography? I think that these are really important and play an important role in photography because they bring the joy back to it. And that's why I think you should try using one, because everyone seems to have one of these laying around. Relatives, I'm sure, would be glad to pass them on. I got this one from a relative for free. Garage sales are a good option. eBay, they're cheap. I think you should try these cheaper digital cameras because they really can be a breath of fresh air into your photography. If you get a chance to use a Digicam, I think you should take it. It's a good opportunity for your photography. Good luck with your next photos, and have a great day.